This is Coffee with Coco, and this is Reverend Coco. And I want to tell you something. I was talking to a friend yesterday, and I had a very interesting conversation with him. I was explaining to him my frustration about being single and finding wonderful men or seemingly wonderful men that do not want to wait for intimacy. My friend is one of these wonderful guys who also don't want to wait for intimacy. So I'm not saying if you can't wait, then you're not good. Or if you choose not to wait or you lack discipline in that area, that you're not good. But he's one of them. And so we were having a really, what felt like to me a very sad conversation. I asked him, would he be willing to wait? He said that he is not that kind of person. He's not willing to wait until marriage. It's just not in him. That's what he says. And I personally think he could do it if he wanted to, but he says that that's not him, it's not him. So I said, so what timing do you think is reasonable? He said 1 to 2 months. I thought, oh, wow. That's like whipped cream. That's not even the cake. That's just whipped cream. That's just fluff. 1 to 2 months. I'm just getting to know somebody, a lot of feelings that don't have any real substance or any strength or stability could be forming in that time. We haven't really gotten to the core of who we are and whether those cores are soul matched and or compatible. So his timeline is 1 to 2 months. I said, interesting. What about 6 to 8 months? And he said, no, I like my timeline better. And he said, what am I waiting for? What's 6 to 8 months for? And I said, that's the time that you can actually form a real connection. That's the time for a lot of people. Right? 6 months. I've been told that a man knows whether he wants to be with you the first 3 months or the first 90 days or the first 45 days. Either way, he knows whether he wants to be with you. But that doesn't necessarily mean that that's the time to become intimate either. Right? And even if he wants to be with you, that doesn't mean that he understands or even knows about some of your core values. So 6 to 8 months seems like a reasonable amount of time if you're spending quality time to get to know someone and build a real connection. So he disagrees. So then I asked him, what if she wants to wait until marriage? Fine, you don't want to wait until marriage. What if she wants to wait until marriage? And he said no. Notice I'm pushing and I'm just trying to figure out, I'm trying to understand more because I'm running into men who believe the same thing. They do not want to wait. And I understand, believe me, I know that waiting is hard. I may not understand it with a man with testosterone and all these other things going on in his body, but I understand it from a woman's point of view who wants to be loved and wants to give love. It is difficult to wait until intimacy. It is difficult to wait until marriage. It is hard not being intimate, especially when you like someone. So I'm asking him. And in asking him whether he could wait or not, this was the distinction he made. he would be willing to wait if the woman was a virgin. And I thought, oh, that's really interesting, because I've heard just the opposite. Men are more prone to wanting to be your first, wanting to be the first one that deflowers a virgin. So that was really interesting. So I asked him, well, why? He said, because she's pure. Oh. So that word really bothered me, to the point where it hurt my feelings. Taking it away from my friend who I really care about. He's a great guy, doing some dating of his own. Happy for him. And I disagree. I disagree with that word, with that terminology, that she's pure. So I said, so someone with kids, or someone who's just not a virgin, someone who's had consensual sex. Notice I said consensual, because that's what sex is. But a lot of people use it even in terms of like sexual assault and all kinds of other things regarding their choices being taken away. So I'm talking about consensual acts of intimacy. So I asked, well, if she's not a virgin, then what? She can't ask? He said, well, she's not pure. Interesting. The word cut me. That word cut me. Let me tell you what I found. Just a simple Google search. There are like 4 definitions for the word pure under Google. So first definition means not mixed or adulterated with any other substance or material. What that means is genuine, unadulterated, which means not diluted, not mixed, flawless, perfect, right? Next definition says without any extraneous and unnecessary elements, without any extra unnecessary ingredients. Third definition says free of contamination. That is synonymous with untainted, natural, sterilized, uninfected, disinfected, germ-free, good for you, clean. There's that word, clean. I want you to put a pen by that. Fourth definition says wholesome and untainted by immorality, especially of a sexual nature. That is synonymous with angelic, virtuous, ethical, worthy, blameless, unblemished, uncorrupted, good, clean. There's that word again. So if somebody is not pure, then they would be impure. That's my thinking. Again, I'm interpreting what he's saying. I don't believe that my friend is saying anything that's meant to hurt or devalue anyone. Outside of his intentions, however, that was the impact. I felt devalued. I have 2 children. For those of you who don't know, I got married in 2021. I filed for divorce in 2022. So I am single and I have 2 children and I am not a virgin. So I looked up impure. Impure has 3 definitions. First one says impure is mixed with unnecessary elements. Mixed with unnecessary elements. Impure. The second definition is dirty, which simply means unclean, dirty. That means unhygienic, unsanitary, filthy, or infected. Third definition says morally wrong, especially in sexual matters. that is synonymous with crude, gross, vulgar, lewd, obscene, wicked, pornographic, dirty. So essentially, when my friend used that word pure as that being a label for virginity, I thought immediately of impure for everybody else who's not a virgin, or every other woman actually who's not a virgin. Sadly, I find that there is often a question about the purity of a woman and not the purity of a man. It's a double standard that I find so harmful and so wrong. So essentially, pure means clean and impure means dirty. I'm only telling you my thought process based on what he said, based on my interpretation, and based on Google. Okay? It's wrong to use the word pure when you're dealing with the value and integrity of the human body, especially Black bodies that have been wrongfully traumatized by America, and Black women's bodies who have been traumatized by America and the collective of the Black community. When I say the collective, I'm only speaking in general. I am not talking about every single Black man. I'm not speaking about every single Black man. I'm talking about Black men who are so concerned with her sexual purity. Meanwhile, they have less concern for their own or their friends. Okay. It's very interesting to me that a Black man will call a Black woman a hoe or a thought or anything that degrades her sexually. Meanwhile, he might have slept with her or wanted to. So often, men hurt women by attacking their sexuality. Like I said, she's hoish, she's promiscuous, she's a thought. Those words are always relative or used, generally speaking, relatively towards women. You don't call a man a thought, right? That hoe over there. You don't call men that, you know? And and it's not to say that it has never happened. Some people like to go to extremes. I'm speaking in general, which means that there are outliers, which means there are men that don't speak like this, which means there are honorable men of God willing to wait. I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. I am grateful for you. I'm grateful for the women that you honor. I am grateful that you have a sense of equality between men and women. So I'm not talking to everybody, but I'm talking about people who are quick to disrespect a woman's nature by referring to her as a female dog or by her body parts. These are women who nurse your babies, and they're men. Back to health. These are women that even if they can't have children, they're a mother to somebody. They're an aunt to somebody. They're a sister to somebody. Women hold the community together. Black women are the bridge between the Black man and the Black child. Women are the heart of the community. And yet the number one killer of the Black woman is heart disease. But that's another topic. We shouldn't be calling women pure or impure. But if you've got a good woman or know of a good woman, we shouldn't be declaring her valuable, whether she's a virgin or not. If she is honorable, if she is morally righteous, if she is humble, then maybe we should call her noble. That's what the Bible calls her. What's the definition of noble? Noble means of excellent or superior quality. That is flawless, which is synonymous with pure. Marvelous, splendid, select, magnificent. While it is beautiful and honorable to be a virgin, the irreplaceable wisdom granted to women who have experienced intimacy is also valuable. It is valuable. And I think that so often men are so caught up on a woman's body count, how many people she's dealt with, how many people she's messed around with or been with. You are missing the fact that that experience has been used for God's glory and has made her into a wife. Now, I'm not talking about sexually. I'm not talking about she's got experience in the bedroom, so she's going to make a great wife. I'm talking about her character. I'm talking about the things that she's learned. I'm talking about God healing her heart from the pain and the anguish of someone you've been with not wanting you anymore, or for whatever reason, breaking up. There's resilience that comes with that. There's strength that comes with that. There's determination that comes with that, if she gains the lessons that come with it. The Bible says that the man who finds a wife finds a treasure, and he receives favor from the Lord. Just to go one verse above, that was 18:22 of Proverbs. Proverbs 18:21 says, the tongue can bring life or death. Those who love to talk will reap the consequences. We have to be careful. We have to be careful. We have to really start to look at the purity of our own hearts. And we've got to start to remove that dirt, those impurities that are blinding us from the goodness in front of us. Because we could be missing out on our wife. Proverbs 31, verse 10 is the character of a noble wife. Just to read a few, it says, who can find a virtuous and capable wife? She is more precious than rubies. Her husband can trust her, and she will greatly enrich his life. She brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life. Verse 17, she is energetic and strong, a hard worker. Verse 20, she extends a helping hand to the poor and opens her arms to the needy. Verse 25, she is clothed with strength and dignity. Verse 26, when she speaks, her words are wise, and she gives instructions with kindness. Verse 30 and 31, charm is deceptive, and beauty does not last. But a woman who fears the Lord will be greatly praised. Reward her for all she has done. Let her deeds publicly declare her praise. Perhaps instead of looking for a misunderstanding, a misinterpretation of what is pure or not pure, we should be looking for nobility in a woman. If you have any thoughts, I'm interested in knowing. And that's it for me. This is Coffee with Coco. I'm out. I want to also add that my good friend, who I was having this conversation with, wants to be married. And so my hope for him is that he wouldn't bypass a wonderful woman, a noble woman, because he wants to have sex before she's ready. Or because he's not the kind that would pressure anybody into doing anything that they don't want to do, that he would completely leave her alone, not take any interest in her because she wants to wait until marriage. I think so many men are missing their blessings right in front of them because they want to awaken love before it's time. And I understand the needs. I empathize. I empathize with my brothers, and I empathize with my sisters. It's definitely difficult and it's definitely hard. But if you want something that's going to last, we got to make sure the foundation is strong first. And I'm learning, and I'm growing, and I'm gaining resilience and strength in this area in my season of singlehood. But if you find somebody noble, man or woman, then they're worth the wait. They are worth the wait. Have a good day, beautiful people. I love you.